Let's also add some style to our table that we created. Remember we had a table here on the pricing page. I'll just show that to you for a moment. So this is the price chart section here, and we have this table made up of the TR elements and TH, which is table header, and TD, which is the table divider, or a non-header, here creating column structure, or creating really a table cell. So these are creating all those rows and columns of the table. So we'd like to style this as is. You can see what it looks like unstyled here. We can jump over to pricing, and you can see that these are kind of all bunched together here. So we'll see what we can do to make this look a little prettier. Let's go ahead and tell this guy to have a width of 100%. And that will be nice because then when we change the size of our wrappers, or the size of the device scales down, we can have the table respond accordingly. So we'll set this guy to have a width of 100%, and we'll go ahead and say margin 0, 0, 0, 20 pixels, like that. And we'll add a border to the top of 1 pixel solid medium gray, like that. We'll use the hexadecimal shortcut for medium gray. And we'll also create a similar border, but this time on the left-hand side as well. We'll say border dash left 1 pixel solid pound CCC to create a medium gray there. Okay. We also want to style the table rows, which is using the TR tag like this. And I want to add a background color to these guys. Background. And we're going to say EF, 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 which is a very light gray color. Kind of like just one notch off from white in a way. And let's take a look at that for a second. So if I refresh this now, these guys are a lighter color gray, which you can see. And we also have a border on the top and on the left side. And it's also stretching 100% right now. Okay. What if I wanted to set this lighter gray color to every other row? So maybe like I want only the even rows of the table rows to be a light gray background color. So what I can do then is I can use a pseudo class selector. Previously we looked at pseudo class selectors for links like hover and visited to control various link states. Let's take a look at another pseudo class selector called nth child, and we're going to go ahead and say nth child even, and this will select only even numbered rows, only even numbered table rows, and change it to this gray color here, like that. So for example, if I set the table rows, for example, to white, like that, and then I set only the even rows to a gray color, we'll get this effect, which is like that. So now it's kind of like striped, and it's easier, since we have the table row striped like this, it's easier to see where these line up with each other. It turns out a little bit later we're just going to tell the sections that everything's in to be white, so we can even just take out the white for now, and eventually they'll just inherit the color of the white section behind the table. Let's see, what else do we want to do here to the table? Well, we have the table headings and table dividers, which make up all the columns in the table and sort of slice up into individual cells of the table. And remember, we want to use padding for spacing inside of elements and margin for spacing outside. So if I want to add spacing around these numbers and these words here, I have to use spacing inside of the element. So we'll go ahead and set this guy to have a padding of 10 pixels. I think that should look nice. And we'll also set this guy to have a border dash right of 1 pixel solid medium gray color like that, just like before, except last time, for the table, it only has a border on the top and left. Every individual cell will have a border on the right and also on the bottom, like that. So we'll save that, and let's come back and refresh and see what that did. There we go. So padding added obviously some padding around each of these guys, and each individual cell has a border on the bottom and the right, and this one has on the bottom and the right, and bottom and the right. So since each one has a border on the bottom and the right, it actually makes a box. And then to make the border on the top and left, we just added it to the table itself to fill in just this one here and the one on the left side. So now our table is looking pretty good. This guy is called a TH, which is table heading. So for example, Finkerstein, Dolby, and Washington, Warby, and Brixton, these brand names, these are inside of TD tags, but this one here, brand at the top, is inside of a TH, table header. So if we want, we can style the table header to be a little different so we know that it's a header. So let's change the background color of this one to be a little bit darker gray. We'll say pound 555, and we'll also change the color of the text to be white, like that. And we'll come back and refresh, and now you can see the table header is darker there. So that's looking pretty good.